Welcome, everyone. It's Melissa D with BodyJoy Intimacy School, and I want to just film this video for you for those that are receiving the free gift on Valentine's Day. And you might be watching this later because I'm going to make it available most of the year. So, this is a gift for people that are partnered, people that are seeking a partner. Maybe you're going on a Tinder date, who knows? But this is the invitation to intimacy. It's the first chapter of many, there's about 7. And I wanted to give this as a gift just to have you kind of road test it, feel it out, check it out. I have a couple screens up, so I'm going to grab the one that I need to watch here. So, with this gift, you get the workbook on invitation intimacy. There's information on how to use it, about the creators, Dr. Charla Hathaway, and myself, Melissa D. And then the next document is the lesson. So, there's 7 lessons, and this is the first one. And so basically, these invitation and intimacy segments are a beautiful way to interrupt your normal go tos of connection and pleasure and really show you and invite you new ways to talk, touch, and play with your partner. Now, again, if you're partnered, I would recommend doing this together and even reading it, which I'll give you more instructions on. Even if you're not partnered, maybe this will give you new ideas and new possibilities on how to be intimate, how to approach touch, how to ask for things. This whole program is filled with juicy details on how to reach new levels of connection and also conversation. Um, and very explicit videos also on how to touch your partner. And so we demo on both vulvas and I was going to say eggplants because I don't know if I can say the other one. But anyway, vulva, if you have a vulva or a cock, you will get instruction, which is such a profound tool in intimacy. And the focus of this chapter in particular, but most of them, is to invite you to be intimate in a way that's not reliant on sex. So, depending on your gender and how you express it, of course, when I say penetration, it may mean something different for you. Maybe you're 2 women that are dating or 2 people with vulvas, or maybe you're heterosexual. Either way, there's usually a way that we always connect and we go to because it's really easy and hot and fun and exciting or whatever. And so this is taking you out of that and offering your partner and yourself a different way to connect, which I just love. Okay, so let's get started on how we're going to use this material. And so you have 2 documents that you should get the download for. Now, who is this for? If you found this video on YouTube, well, you can sign up as well. I'll put it in the description below on how you can just become a member of BodyJoy Intimacy School. It's totally free and you get free access, doesn't cost you a dime. And so as soon as you sign up for our newsletter, you will get access to these documents. And that's the only way that I know how to really share them openly and widely is if I send them through our newsletter. Okay, so what you'll do is you'll receive the workbook, which kind of explains the background of how this all works. And then for each chapter, you're getting the first one for free. There is instructions on what you're going to be doing for the night or during the day if you choose to do it. What I recommend is if you're doing this with a partner, like watch this video together, which I won't make it too long, and then print out the lesson so that you can read it together and maybe take turns reading the exercises and fully understand it before you move forward. So on the lesson plan, there's a summary of what you're going to be doing, the exercises, and each 7 of these are different. There's always an opening ritual or a beginning. And so this is a time where you do a check-in, you do a release, you do an intention, and then you light a candle. And what this does is it takes you from your normal waking day. Maybe you had a really busy day, maybe you have children, maybe you have a pet, and you've got all this stuff that you're dealing with all day. And so this is lighting a candle gives you a chance to kind of set the tone, slow down, and enter this slower space together. Okay. And again, like if I'm telling you a lot of details that you're like, oh my gosh, am I going to remember all this? Don't worry about it. It's all in the workbook and it's all laid out very easily for you. So watch the video together that I'm doing right now and then read together. So there's an opening ritual, and this is where you do a check-in about how you're feeling, what's going on for you, unedited sharing. So if you're stressed, if you're excited, if you're nervous, all the things are welcome. And then you do a release. What is something that you want to release in order to be totally present? Sometimes I release the fact that I need to pick up my son from school. Sometimes I release the fact that my body hurts. Sometimes I release the fact that I had a really busy day in the office and I'm having a hard time checking it. Whatever it is, you send a release out and then you set your personal intention. What is your intention? Do you want to connect more? Are you wanting to spice things up? Are you wanting to shift into something more intimate? Whatever the thing is. And then you light the candle together and then put it somewhere in the room. And then there's a list of a few exercises. So the first one is ocean breathing. And so you can do this side by side. So if you sit together and you've got your partner here, and just so you can feel a little bit of touch together, so you can be shoulder to shoulder, you can also turn to the side and be back to back. And so what you're going to do is pause here and maybe sit somewhere on the floor, again, back to back. And you're going to breathe with a lot more sound. Okay, so when you take it in, just like an ocean wave. And that's why they call it ocean breathing. You're just calming. You can put your hands on your chest and belly. You can rest them on the floor or your knees. But just take that moment. Deep in the throat. Okay, that's the first exercise. Again, this is all laid out for you. I'm just verbalizing it in case you're someone that needs that audible cue. The second exercise is the ocean breathing, but this time you're going to be having eye contact. So sit across from each other, gaze softly at each other's eyes. I'm going to pretend that I'm gazing at somebody and look at your partner's left eye. And this is the place that's more receptive. It's also a nice focal point, so you're not darting back and forth and wondering where you're going to look, but just gaze at them in their eye. Do the ocean breathing. Blink when you need to, but just hold a soft gaze. Okay, and each exercise that we're going to be doing is timed. And again, all this is in the workbook. So the ocean breathing at the beginning was 3 minutes. The second ocean breathing with eye contact is going to be about 10. And then after each exercise, you just share back and forth, not interrupting, not talking over each other. It's not a conversation, but just sharing what that was like for you. And the next exercise is body bonding. And this is where you find an open, clean place on the floor. You can do it on a firm bed. You just don't want a baggy bed or a water bed or something like that. You want something kind of firm. And decide who's going to be the bottom. And so have them lay belly down. And then whoever it is going to be on top. You come up over and lay head to head, torso to torso, legs with legs in the same direction over top of them, and then kind of melt your body on top of them. And you're going to hold this for about 10 to 15 minutes. Put a couple songs on and just lay together. And whoever's on top, you just kind of drape your body over, and whoever's on bottom, make sure you're comfortable. If you need like a sheepy or some sort of cushion underneath your body, you can do that. If you need a small pillow, whatever it is. But the both of you are going to be facing the same direction. So your heads are going to be in the same way, and so are your feet. And just lay and relax and see if you can synchronize your breath. And just notice what you notice. Notice, most people say that this is so relaxing, and you're not checking your phone, you're not making food, you're not distracted with work, you're just being together. This is called body bonding. And so if you want to switch roles, you can do that halfway, or if you just want to keep whoever's on the bottom and whoever's on the top. That's the next exercise. All right. And the next exercise after that is the 3-minute game. And this is the beginning of quite a fun journey on touch. And so one partner is going to go first, and you're going to go back and forth, but you're going to do 3-minute intervals. So the whole exercise for the 3-minute game is 20 minutes, but you're going to take these 3-minute relays back and forth. So if I'm going to go first, I'm going to ask my partner, for 3 minutes, how would you like me to touch you? And so we're not touching the genitals or the breasts, but everything else, as long as your partner consents to it, okay? So think about it. If you get that question, how would you like to be touched? for 3 minutes. Think about, how do you want to be touched? Do you want a shoulder massage? Do you want them to stroke your hair? Get really specific and then instruct your partner where you want them in the room and how you want this touch to happen. Do you want to lay back? Do you want to sit up? Whatever it is, okay? And remember, there's a lot of really solid instructions on how to do all this in the workbook that you're going to get. So you're going to set your timer on your phone for 3 minutes. First, you're going to ask them, how do you want to be touched for 3 minutes? And as soon as they tell you, you say it back to make sure you got it correctly. And then you're going to set the timer for 3 minutes and only do that kind of touch. And if you're receiving the touch, you can also change it up. Say they were touching your hair and you want them to move onto your shoulders. Say they were on their shoulders, you want them to move to your feet. Maybe you want light strokes on the face. Who knows? Okay, so do that one. And then you do a share back. How was that for you? What did you enjoy? What was it like for you to both give and receive touch? And the next exercise is called Share Your Sexual Story. And so this is an exercise where you may be able to find something new out about your partner, really see them and understand them in a way that you maybe haven't talked about before. Again, maybe this is a new relationship. Maybe you've known each other for 50 years. Either way, what you're going to do is you'll set the timer for 8 minutes each. So if I was to go, I just speak for 8 minutes. It's not a conversation going back and forth. It is just a thought stream of you just sharing your sexual story. What are the type of things you're going to share? Well, you're not going to share about all the hot sex that you may have had before your partnership. That's not what this is about. This is about digging deeper. This is about, what was it like in your household growing up? How did you hear about sex? What was it like? Did you feel shame? Were you more extroverted about it? Let them know, what was it like for you? Maybe you want to talk about some young, significant relationships. What were some things that really shifted things for you? Whatever it is. I may share about how I was raised Christian and we didn't actually talk about sex for a long time. And I learned from other kids. And, I played with a lot of females when I was younger. Whatever it is, share your sexual history and the thoughts that pop up for you. And your partner just gets to listen and be curious. All right. And there's more instructions in the workbook when you get it. And then the final exercise, or just the closing, is the closing ritual. And this is a time that you get to kind of close the container and the space that you've made for one another. So you take your candle and you share, what that was like for you. What were some highlights? Maybe share a couple appreciations, again, coming back to eye contact, and then blow out the candle. And then at the end of the workbook, there's a couple questions that you can ask each other if you want, or you can use a journal too. All right. So that is the lowdown. Wow, I did that really quickly. So if you have any other questions or you're curious, feel free to email me, melissa@bodyjoy.org. And remember, this is just the first chapter of 7 whole nights, or some people choose to spread it out over the week, doing one each week. And so, just each week or each day, we keep getting deeper and deeper and going through all these beautiful experiences together that include conversation, includes touch, explicit language. It's pretty beautiful and pretty brilliant. So hopefully this gives you some ideas on different ways to connect, especially for Valentine's Day. When you're done with dinner, when you put the kids to bed, when you brought home your date, whatever it is, ask them, do you want to do these exercises with me? I really want to hang out with you, whatever it is. All right. I'll see you on the other side. And again, if you want access to this information, the first chapter is free. You can just sign up for our newsletter, which is in the links. And if you're watching this at home and you got this as a gift, please enjoy and have a delicious night.